These lectures and seminars bring together Palestinian, UK, and international academics, students, and practitioners to explore the challenges facing Palestinian education and its role in creating a free and flourishing Palestine. Today, we're going to focus on Palestinian women in science in an event called Science Under Scholasticide. And we're very grateful to our three panelists and to our audience for your participation in our webinar, which will highlight the strong resilience, remarkable achievements, and ongoing struggle of Palestinian women in science, research, and academia. Now, as we know, women scientists and researchers everywhere face numerous challenges such as gender bias and stereotyping, underrepresentation in leadership roles, pay discrimination, funding disparities, and societal expectations, to mention just a few. In addition, Palestinian women have confronted unique challenges caused by the decades-long Israeli military occupation, apartheid, ethnic cleansing, and the destruction of educational institutions. Over the past 16 months especially, Israel's military campaign has devastated Gaza's scientific and academic infrastructure through its systematic assault on education institutions, including research laboratories, libraries, and archives. And in the West Bank, the escalation of violence by Israeli military forces has led to school and campus closures, heightened restrictions at checkpoints, and detention of students and staff. But despite the ongoing scholasticide, Palestinian women scientists continue to make significant contribution in various scientific fields, and today our guests will share some of their experiences and how women in Palestine are advancing scientific knowledge despite these barriers. This event is also an opportunity to engage with the UK academic community who want to know how to support Palestinian higher education and scientific research. Academics and science professionals are increasingly interested in Palestine and Palestinian experiences, but many may not be familiar with the details of the higher education landscape. Testimonies from our guests today will prove the transformative power of education in confronting and surmounting adversity for the benefit of society. The webinar will be just over an hour long, with each panel member sharing their insights, and I'll introduce each panelist separately, briefly before they present. And following the presentation, we will open the floor for Q&A. So again, thank you very much for attending. We really do appreciate your time and contributions in making this event a success. Just a note, the event is free, but FOBSU relies on donations from our supporters to run programs like this one. So to support our work promoting access to education for Palestinians, please consider making a donation today, or better still, become a friend of FOBSU. So let's go straight to our the first of our three panelists. I'm delighted to introduce first Professor Wafa Khater, who is the Dean of Faculty of Science at Birzeit University and a faculty member of the Department of Physics. Professor Khater earned her PhD from Bergen University in Norway. Her research focuses on high-energy particle physics, CP violation, and Higgs physics, and she actively supports women in science through organizations like the Organization for Women in Science for the Developing World. She has also facilitated Palestinian student participation in CERN's Summer Student Programme and ICTP's Physics Without Frontiers. She's also a founding organizer of the Palestinian Advanced Physics School, connecting students with global experts. So, Professor Wafa, please carry on. Thank you.
I would like to wish all of our colleagues a happy International Day for Women and Girls in Science. Also, Birzeit University marking 100 years of providing education to the Palestinian people. It started in 1924 as a school for girls This was about 100 years ago. And it was started by a Palestinian lady, Miss Nabiha Nasser, at that time. And then along the years, the university developed, or the school developed to become a university in early 1970s, last century, to provide higher education to the young men and women in the Palestinian society. So Birzeit, since it was started, it already started to foster education of girls and supporting them, whether in science or in other fields. So I would like to share this logo of our university, a new one, to just mark 100 years of education for the Palestinian people. This photo actually I took in the year 2016 while organizing the Palestinian Advanced Physics School for our master level students in physics. And we were happy that many of our Palestinian students in several Palestinian universities, including Birzeit, could join this school. And the school attracted many of excellent experts and scientists from all over the world. We see our great supporter, a UK physicist, Professor John Ellis. He was there to share his knowledge with our students. And the gender distribution of our students here that appearing in this photo as a sample, we see 5 female faces as opposed to 3 male students. This guy here, he's Mario Martone. He's one of our also supporters or international supporters in physics. So the percentage of female students in physics is outnumbering their male colleagues, and always the percentage is higher than 60% of female students doing physics as opposed to lower percentage of male students. I show here some statistics for 6 academic years from the physics department in Birzeit University, both at the undergraduate level, where we have the percentage of female graduate with a bachelor's degree in physics, about 65% compared to their male colleagues. And at the master level degree, we see the percentage is about 80% of female graduates with a master degree in physics. Most of the Palestinian universities do not offer PhD programs in scientific subjects or math. In fact, some of Palestinian universities started to offer PhD programs in physics in recent years, but these programs are still at very early stages. And, you know, these programs, in order to survive, they need to stay in collaboration with the outside world, mainly in universities in the developed world, and in order to be able to do research that is required for a PhD, especially in laboratory work. Unfortunately, when it comes to the gender distribution at the faculty line and researchers, the number of female faces is very less compared to male colleagues. And maybe this is a trend all over the world. So, for example, in the physics department in Birzeit University, I'm the only academic among other 7 academics in the physics department in Birzeit University. So the percentage of female physicists in the faculty line, it doesn't exceed 30% at its maximum. And I mean, this kind of thing we study in gender studies, but some of the reasons for that might be that we do not offer PhD programs in the local universities in Palestine. And this means that our female students, they need to travel abroad, mainly to Western universities and Western cultures. And this somehow makes the number of them who are able to do that is less due to several reasons. Some of these are like socio-economical reasons, and other are due to the political situation that we are living under, as I will explain later. So I myself, as I said, I graduated from Birzeit University back in 1993. Sorry, back in 1998, and then I got my PhD from the University of Bergen in Norway. And when I came back to Palestine to start an academic position in Birzeit University as teaching physics and doing research, I focused on keeping our collaboration with international colleagues and mainly capacity buildings among our students to make some opportunities for them to collaborate with our colleagues from universities in Europe, mainly. And we started actually collaboration with some of UK physicists. We see here Professor Bobby Asharia. He volunteered to teach a physics course to our master students. And Dr. Kecho, also a UK physicist. We see also here Veerav Mehta. He's also a UK physicist who volunteers to teach a master level physics course for our students in Palestine. So these kind of activities we started to promote the field of physics among our students, and it opened up opportunities for them to pursue PhD opportunities and do research outside Palestine, where we don't have actually the facilities and the infrastructure for our students to continue for higher studies. This is a quote I would like to share with our audience. It was written via an article called Lessons from Palestine by our UK physics colleague, Dr. Kecho, who won several prizes due to her outreach activities in high energy physics, mainly in Palestine and other developing countries. And she talked about her experience when she volunteered to teach a physics course for our master students, and how much she was impressed to see like the percentage of her class is dominated by female students. Now, this kind of collaboration with our international colleagues, whether in UK or other places in the developing countries, is important, and it is actually a key to succeed in our job as researchers and as academics, and also it gives opportunities to our students to travel abroad and pursue their research and careers in physics. Now, will we be able to keep this kind of collaboration where we having our international colleagues or scientists from outside Palestine visiting us or volunteering to teach at our universities, or organizing workshops and conferences? In fact, this is not an easy job for us to do that. For example, early in the year 2022, at that time we were starting to recover from the isolation that was imposed on us due to the COVID era. So in that year, we were preparing to organize a big scientific event at Birzeit University, which is the seventh conference, the seventh Palestinian conference on modern trends in mathematics and physics. This kind of conference, we invite physicists and mathematicians from outside Palestine to come and communicate their knowledge and their expertise to their Palestinian colleagues and also to our graduate students who attend the conference. So early in that year, when we were preparing for this conference, and we already invited speakers from UK and from other countries in Europe and US, Canada, and other countries all over the world, the Israeli authorities published new rules that restricted the entry of our international colleagues to the West Bank. And this new rules, it was about 97 pages. At least half of these pages were to restrict the entry of lecturers, researchers in the field of higher education, also students, volunteers, and other experts and consultants who wanted to serve in what's called Judea and Samaria, which is basically the West Bank in Israeli terminology. So at that year, when we were preparing for this big conference, things got very chaotic because many of our colleagues coming from outside Palestine, they had to cancel their trip to Birzeit to participate in the conference because they were not sure whether these new rules apply to them or not. And they didn't know what to do because they didn't know when this kind of rules will start to come in effect at that time. Still, we managed to put together this conference in the summer of 2022, and we were happy to have at least 25 experts and scientists and physicists from all over the world coming to Birzeit campus and participating in this conference. And I would like to highlight the contribution of two female UK physicists, Anna Christine Davies from UK Cambridge and Jocelyn Bell Brunel, who joined us via Zoom at that time. And in this group photo of the conference, we see many of our other international colleagues and many of our female students. We had colleagues from US, from Germany, from Canada, Belgium, Finland, Portugal, Norway, and many other countries. The message that our colleagues from UK, especially the women physicists from UK, the message they sent to our Palestinian young women doing physics is to follow and fight for their passion toward pursuing a career in physics and in mathematics and other scientific topics.
Dr. Wafa, sorry, could I ask you if you could perhaps wrap up in 2 or 3 minutes?
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
So coming to the recent situation, which started about 16 months ago, the number of military checkpoints of Israelis has increased and multiplied in numbers, but this is actually didn't start just 16 months ago. What's called Scholasticide, for us, it started as early as the university started to provide education to the Palestinian people. For example, in the year 1981, there was a military order by Israeli authorities to close down the campus of Birzeit University. And there was a very long closure, which lasted for more than 4 years. And it started in 1988 and it ended in spring 1992, and this was the longest closure of the campus of Birzeit University. And I would like to mark this year, the year 1993, just 1 year after the campus was opened to operate again and provide education to the Palestinian people. This year, 1993, was the year when I finished high school and I joined university. So I always consider myself lucky in that point that I finished high school by the time when Birzeit University started back to operate and provide education to the Palestinian people. Nowadays, we see a lot of gates and checkpoints on the roads to campus. At least there are 6 checkpoints surrounding Birzeit campus within 7 kilometers from campus. So many of our students and faculty members cannot reach campus, especially we have students from different parts of the West Bank, north, south, west, east, and all of them cannot reach campus most of the days. So we had to switch to online teaching. And nowadays, I mean, we are in the final exam of the fall semester. So we have to do all the exams remotely because of that. And unfortunately, there are a number of our students and faculty members who are detained. Most of them are detained under administrative detentions, meaning they are detained without trials and without charges. And at least as we speak, there is one female physics student from Birzeit University is in Israeli detention. Still, we have a lot of success stories among our graduates from the physics department in Birzeit University to share with our audience. I would like to just quick flash these slides. Dr. Arwa Bannoura, she is located in Germany now. Dr. Tasneem Salim, she is located in France right now. And we have Dr. Shayma Wahdan. Shayma actually from a small village in the northern of Palestine originally, and she's located in Germany now. And we always like to share this photo of her when she joined the CERN summer program, and she looks like one of its own in that whole class. And Dr. Hiba Fatafta, she is also currently in Germany. And we have Sarah Abu Zayed, who's still doing her PhD in Europe. And I would like to conclude my remarks that we need to stay in international collaboration with our colleagues from outside Palestine in order to have our mission accomplished by providing education in science and physics and all STEM related fields for our Palestinian students. Thank you, and I'm sorry if I took extra time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wafa. It's a shame that we can't, that we can't actually have 3 hours because we would like to have for each of you for an hour. So perhaps in the future we can expand the webinar series. Congratulations on the 100 years of Palestinian education and on the success of female master's degree holders. I'm sure the UK certainly has a lot to learn from Palestine on how to get more female physicists. Obviously, you're doing fantastically well especially compared to the UK. Okay, so moving on now to Professor Hala El Hossondar, who is a visiting professor at the Department of Materials at Imperial College and has been Professor of Electrical Engineering and Smart Systems at the Islamic University of Gaza since 2000, after earning her PhD in physics from New Mexico State University, USA. Professor El Khozandar has played a pivotal role in the development of Quality Assurance Unit and External Relations Department at IUG. Her research interests include working on innovative solar energy systems, developing optical fibers for faster data transmission, and an optical sensors for medical purposes. So, Dr. Haller, please continue. Thank you.
This is to emphasize what Sandra already said at the beginning of our introduction, that women have a harsher time than men. And this photo had been taken from Gosmo magazine, which is published by Alexander von Humboldt Foundation in Germany, in which they want to emphasize that men have harsh time going to the top, but women for sure have harsher time to go to the top. And I added this chain, which is emphasized that even women from Gaza, female from Gaza, have even harder time to go to the top because many obstacles, which I will talk about through this slide, especially women in advanced and applied sciences like physics and engineering, medicine, etc. So where I am from Gaza. I born in Gaza City, in Gaza Strip. And in my first slide, I show the picture of my father, who I couldn't say the last goodbye for him when he died because I was outside Gaza, and they eventually the border had been closed, so I couldn't get into Gaza and say goodbye to my father. I always like to show beautiful pictures of Gaza. The Gaza I still see in my heart. Gaza is in the shore of the Mediterranean Sea. It has along on the shore by 41 kilometer. It has a wide from 6 to 12 kilometer, total area of 360 kilometers square, and 2.5 million inhabitants. You can see that it's a crowded city before the war, of course. It's a lot of nice building. People were trying to live in this area in the world. We have beautiful mosques, beautiful streets, all gone, of course. So also we are very famous in many things. We are dependent about ourselves, so we're proud about what we do. So we have, since we are in the sea of in the shore of the Mediterranean Sea, we have fishermen, so we depend about fishing. Also, we have a very good land for agriculture, so we plant a lot of vegetables and fruits. And I emphasize here in the picture about flowers and the strawberry, which is mainly not only to cover the need of the people, it was used to also to export these products for also support the economy of Gaza. Also, we are famous with pottery, and we also embroidery. And women in Gaza use embroidery a lot for living expenses, to cover their living expenses as a living way to live. Also, we are very famous with good food. We are famous with hummus, falafel, and fool. And also, we're very good in sweets like baklava and knafa. We have two famous kinds of knafa. It's knafa Nabulsi and knafa Arabic. So my education, as I said, I grew up in Gaza, Palestine. I learned from schools. I get all my schooling in Gaza, starting from elementary school. This is actually my elementary school where I studied as a child. But before the war, it was a high school. It converted from elementary school to high school, and this is one of my visits to the school. Teach some principles of renewable energy to the high school students, one of my social activities. So after I finished my high school in Gaza, I went to Birzeit University in West Bank, where I studied my physics. And after graduation, I worked there for a teaching assistant and research assistant. My main research at that time, it was about the topic atomic and molecular physics. At that time, there was no higher education in all the universities in Palestine. So I wanted to pursue my education, but I have no chance to do it inside my country. My family is sort of at the beginning opposed that I have to go abroad. But since I have no other options, at the end, my family accepted to let me go and continue my education. So I got a fully priority scholarship, and I went to United States of America, where I studied in a university called the New Mexico State University in Las Cruces in New Mexico. And I earned my master's degree in 1993. And from the same university, I got my PhD. It was about topics related to quantum chromodynamics. studying the constituents of the nucleus particles like proton and neutron. And after that, I came back to, I got a postdoc award in Max Planck Institute for Nuclear Physics in Heidelberg, Germany. And also it was a continuation for quantum chromodynamics field of high energy physics. And afterwards, I head back to Gaza, where I joined the faculty members of electrical engineering at the Islamic University. I stayed from there till today at the Islamic University of Gaza, where I become in 2023 a distinguished professor. It's something that you earned after 10 years of being a professor. And so during my serve at the Islamic University of Gaza, I served as a department head, and also I initiated 2 units in the Islamic University of Gaza. One is called External Relation Unit, where I was the dean for a while. And then I also established with other colleagues a quality assurance unit at the Birzeit University, at Islamic University, sorry. During this period, which is from 2000 till today, I had to do some trips to other countries to do my research, like Germany, where I got several scholarships to go to Germany, like the AAD and Alexander von Humboldt. During these visits, I visited 2 main institutes, measurement system and sensor technology in Munich, Germany. Was working with Professor Alexander Koch in sensor technology. And also I visited the Kiel University in Kiel, where I worked in this university in nanotechnology. I also visited Italy. The first time I visited Italy as a student, 1990. And then I become an associate associate with ICTP in Italy, in Trieste. And now I'm currently a senior associate in Italy. And these visits allows me and work with one person, the condensed matter school, condensed matter and statistical physics group with Nicola Siriani. These visits allows me to do research. And this is my last destination before the war. It's in UK, in the Imperial College, where I work also with a nanotechnology group, with these 2 nice ladies. And this is the part of the other students in the group. My scientific works, as you can tell, it's vary from different topics. These some pictures in different places at the Islamic University in Germany. And so my topics mainly sensors, waveguides, solar cells, and these are some of view of what I have done all these years. This in me was almost 100 publications, with a lot of membership with a high ranked third world countries academics like Islamic World Academy of Science, the TWAS member. And I got some prizes like TWAS Medal Lecture and a Cisco Prize. And also I have gained a lot of projects and share with universities from Europe, like Abir with Austrian University, El Maqdisi French University. Also TWAS with a collection of universities from Europe. These projects mainly was targeted to help the students at the Islamic University to get a lot of training, to evolve their education background, enhance their networking with students from abroad, which opened the doors for them to be able to pursue their education as for master and PhD. So reality and challenges. You saw me traveling a lot. I worked at the Islamic University. I went to different countries. Why I do that? Why I not stay in my country? I work the whole year as a teaching. And then in the summer times, I have to work again, go to other countries, not for leisure, but only to work and do research. It's because we have a harsh reality in our country. First of all, we have limited resources. Journals are membership are very expensive, so we don't have access to these journals. Also, our laboratories are not equipped for research, it's only for education. And that's again before the war, before everything had been destructed. And another reality in Gaza, we also have a limited access to electricity because we depend on the fuel, fossil fuel, and most of the time our border is closed, so we can't get the fuel to run our plant. Also, we have some electricity bought from Israel, which can control our life. And don't having electricity leads that we don't have good water, and it's very harsh timing to manage to do research while you're having a little time for electricity and very good water to drink. The worst of the worst is our border. It's even before the war, this last war, we have always the problem with the borders. We have two only borders which can let us go to abroad. One is to go to our other part in Palestine, which is West Bank, to Jordan, and then to where we want to go. But this requires a lot of permissions, a permission from the Israeli border control, and permission to get to Jordan. Besides, we have to have a valid visa. Sometimes your visa will run out for the conference or for the visit before you get the permission from Jordan to enter Jordan, or the permission from the Israeli control to enter to leave this border, which is called Bet Hanun crossing. The other crossing is with Egypt, and this is before the war. It was running, but it was very slowly because it doesn't work for 24 hours. It works for a little time in the day. And so people want to go for education, people want to go for medication, people want to go for attending conferences like me, and maybe go to other countries to do research. So there are priorities for people with sickness, people with to go for students to go for education. So with little number of people who are allowed to cross this border, it makes that sometimes will need you 1 year to wait to be able to leave Gaza, to go through Egypt to the final destination. These are the borders with Egypt, with Israeli, which is very humiliating. A long way to walk, and then there is these doors that you have to cross. And so that's about the difficulties. Beside electricity, water, borders, there are the hugest obstacles that we have in Gaza, that we don't have a rest from war. All the time we have war, all the time. These are actually what I marked these years. We have what we call real wars. There's a huge attack with bombs and invasion of the Israeli tanks to Gaza. But between these years, we have never had rest. Always the airplanes of Israel above our heads. They make assassination for different people. So we have no rest all these years. Always we have a war, and we have to recover from these wars. So the worst of the worst is 2023, where we have a first war in May, and then we have a second war, which started in October, and it doesn't end yet, but we have a ceasefire in January 27. I just show little picture because I know that's limited time to show how much destruction we get from the Israeli invasion. And it's not only for killing people, it's also destruction of many things. Destruction of mosques, schools, universities. These are like societies, people. Also for like right to live, which is for Down syndrome society. And also this is like for science activities and cultural activities also have been destructed. Besides whatever a huge destruction that the Israeli done for houses and everything. So I want to jump from all these obstacles that I talk about what is currently we are doing with education. You know that since the invasion of the last war, students have lost their academic year. There was a lot of waiting for the students to engage either in schools or universities back to their studies. But at the end, the universities and the school decided to start teaching, and it was e-learning. And we get the lesson, or we already have the experiences from many years before. We have this experience before the after 1994, when Arafat came and the Israeli didn't leave the settlements. We have a division all the time of the parts of Gaza, so we have to teach several times, and we have to prepare electronic materials for students to take it home to study. And the second time, we have the biggest lesson in COVID. And so we have a lot of materials ready in our system to teach to our school, to our students via online. So this e-learning process in this current time during the war And even in this ceasefire period, it has some pros and some cons. For students, the pros are the students, they will not lose more of their academic years. They have to gain again the knowledge to graduate or to start their academic years in the universities. And they wanted to escape from the ugly reality. From teaching, I learned from my students that when I opened the Zoom to give them the lecture, they wanted, when they have the internet and the facilities running, they asked me to keep teaching. And when I talk to them, I understand that they want to run away from their reality, the reality which is ugly for them. They want to deviate their thinking about drums above them and the killing around them and the ugly situation that they are living in. The cons that they have limited access to internet. It's not available for everybody. So people who have the internet, it's not strong. Other people who have a limited access to internet. And the main problem with it's not only the electricity problem, it's also the safe environment. So I don't have the environment. In one of the courses that I teach, in one of the midterms, there was a lot of invasion, and my students were doing the exam, and they can't even raise their heads above outside the tent because there was a lot of killing outside the tent. So they want to finish the exam before any more killings. So they have also a lot of new activities to do, like being queuing to get food, queuing to get money, to get charging their mobile, to get water, and running from one place to another place. So these are a lot of difficulties that our students have during the period of the war and in this current situation. And for me as a teacher, I enjoy teaching them. I really feel that I'm doing something which help our students to continue their lives, to feel like normal, like their life haven't been damaged. But also for me, it's very emotional. One of my classes, I start with a certain number of students. By the midterm, I lost some of my students, which was very hard for me, and I couldn't stand it. It's really very difficult. I am assured that you understand my feelings because they are like my kids. So when they killed, I was asking, where are they? Where were the students who didn't do the midterm? The colleagues told me they had been already mortared and have been shot to death by the Israeli forces. I think we don't have enough time to talk about Islamic University. In short, it's just a university which serves a lot of people in Gaza. It has 10 colleges, 55 departments. It has a lot of degrees, all the type of degrees, BA, BS, MA, MSc, and PhD. And unfortunately, by the year 2023, all the buildings of the Islamic University have been destroyed in the Gaza city, in the southern part of Gaza, in the middle of Gaza, which we have the medical school. They all have been destroyed. And many of my colleagues have been killed by the Israeli forces. And many of the students also we have lost. And many of the administrative people also have been killed by the Israeli people.
Thank you very much for that for that wonderful summary of your very illustrious international career, and also for the the very, very hard realities of life in Gaza, and what enormous determination and commitment you have had to achieve all of that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on now to Professor Rifat Al-Khandazar, who I believe is your sister. Yes,
Yes, she's my sister. Yeah.
Same name. Dr. Rifat is a senior visiting research fellow at Durham University Superconductivity Group and is an associate professor at the physics department of Al-Aqsa University. She received her PhD in computational methods for materials science from New Mexico State University. Her research focuses on developing the Monte Carlo Potts model to investigate microstructural evolution of polycrystalline materials. Professor Al-Khandazar has been awarded several scholarships, including the regular Associate Award of ICTP, the DART Short Study Visit, and the Alexander von Humboldt Stiftung Scholarship. We may not have time for questions at the end, but please, Dr. Rifat, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Sandra, for introducing me, and nice to see you again. I will, and thank you for the people who attend this, who organize for this event. and for the people who are attending this event. Thank you all. And thank you for Professor Wafa for her lecture, and for my sister Hala, Professor Hala, for the lecture and for presenting everything about the war and difficult situations in Gaza. For me, I will highlight on the achievements and the challenges of academic work for women in Gaza in general. So I will start by a brief introduction about the academic landscape in Gaza, particularly for women, presenting a complex picture of both significant achievements and challenges. Although the life under constraints and conflict, economic instability and restrictive environment for women in Gaza made a remarkable stride in education and academic achievement. However, these achievements are without the unique set of challenges deeply tied the socio-political context of the region. In this lecture, I will explore both achievements and challenges faced by women in academic work in Gaza. The focus will be on the intersection of education, gender, and the local socio-political climate. Through the situation in Gaza, which is difficult, women have continuously defied expectations and made impressive progress in their educational endeavors. High enrollment rates for women in higher education. Gaza has one of the highest female university enrollment rates in the Arab world. Women make up a significant proportion of university students, often outnumbering men in criteria in certain disciplines. For instance, in fields like education, health sciences, and humanities, women frequently excel in academic performance and graduation rates. Increased access to education. While the rise of local and environment scholarships, online courses, and educational programs tailored to women, many have gained access to higher education that may otherwise have been unavailable to them. Universities in Gaza like Al-Aqsa University, the Islamic University of Gaza, Al-Azhar University, have been essential in empowering women by offering a variety of disciplines and degrees. Leadership in research and academia. A growing number of women in Gaza have also entered research fields and academic leadership positions. Women have contributed significantly to fields such as social sciences, literature, engineering, medicine, and physics, often blending their academic knowledge with activism and social exchange initiatives. This leadership has helped to shift gender norms and encourage future generations of women to pursue higher education. Active participation in international conferences. Despite the isolation in Gaza, women scholars have been able to present their research and findings at international conferences, utilizing technology to bridge gaps in communication. This has provided a global platform for their voices, showcasing their work and gaining recognition in their respective fields. While the achievements are substantial, women in Gaza face numerous challenges that hinder their full academic potential. These challenges are shared by the socio-political environment, cultural norms, and logistical difficulties. A political instability and conflict, one of these difficulties. The ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict has created a turbulent environment that makes academic work difficult for both students and faculty members. Frequent power cuts, damage to infrastructure, and security risks often disrupt the academic calendar. Additionally, the Gaza blockade limits access to resources, research materials, and international collaborations, making it difficult for women to engage in cutting-edge academic work. Gender stereotype and cultural expectations. In Gaza, traditional gender roles often limit the opportunities for women in academia. Culture expectation places a greater emphasis on women's role in the home, which can prevent them from fully engaging in academic careers. Many women face social pressure to marry early, to start families, which can disrupt their academic path or limit their professional growth. Economic constraints. The economic situation in Gaza is dire, with high unemployment rates, particularly among young people. The economic strain also affects women who may struggle to afford tuition fees, access to academic resources, and research material. The lack of job opportunities for graduates exacerbates the financial difficulties faced by women who pursue higher education. Limited access to professional networks. Networking is an essential part of academic work. Yet in Gaza, professional networks for women are limited. Opportunities to attend conferences, collaborate internationally, or engage with academic circles outside the region are restricted due to travel limitations, political barriers, and the lack of support system. I think Professor Hala highlighted about these difficulties in her lecture. Mental health and educational strain. The mental health of students, particularly young women, is overlooked. The constant stress of living in an area marked by conflict, trauma, and a lack of safety takes a toll on the psychological well-being of academic women. Academic pressure combined with the stress of daily life in Gaza can lead to burnout, anxiety, and depression, which often go unaddressed due to cultural stigmas around the mental health. There are efforts to overcome these challenges. Despite these challenges, various initiatives and programs have been launched to support the academic growth of women in Gaza. Some of the most important efforts include community support and empowerment. Women's organizations, both local and international, have played a pivotal role in advocating for female education and academic empowerment in Gaza. This group provides scholarships, mentoring, and networking opportunities to help women navigate the challenges they face. The support networks they provide help women overcome social and economical barriers. International collaboration and online learning. Many women in Gaza are making use of online platforms and international programs to continue their studies and gain exposure to global academic trends. Collaboration with universities in the Arab world, Europe, and the US have helped bridge the gap created by the isolation of Gaza. As many students are now taking part in online degree programs and virtual conferences. Women's leadership in education. Increasingly, women are taking on roles as professors, researchers, and administrators in Gaza universities. Their leadership is not only fostering academic excellence, but is also contributing to challenging the gender norms within the academic institutions themselves. These women often act as role models, inspiring future generations of women to pursue academic careers. Advocacy for policy change. Local and international NGOs are working to improve gender equality in education and advocate for women's rights to equal access in higher education. These organizations are pushing for legal reforms that protect women's educational rights and provide them with the support they need to thrive academically. In conclusion, the higher education landscape in Palestine, particularly in Gaza, reflects the resilience and determination of both students and faculty to continue their education in the face of unimaginable challenges. The shift to online learning has allowed universities to continue functioning, though it remains an imperfect solution. given the region's infrastructure and political barriers. Women in Gaza have faced and continue to face significant challenges in their pursuit of academic work. Yet their achievements, ranging from high enrollment in university to leadership in research, demonstrate their resilience, determination, and commitment to education. The road ahead remains difficult, but the ongoing efforts to empower women in Gaza are helping to pave the way for a greater academic success and social transformation. Ultimately, the achievements of women in Gaza reflects the broader power of education to transcend adversity. Despite the political, economic, and social obstacles, women in Gaza continue to challenge barriers, change the course of their futures, and inspire others around the world. Their stories should be celebrated and their struggles should be acknowledged as they continue to break through barriers on their path toward academic success and social progress. Here, there are some photos, shows how our Al-Aqsa University before the war and after the war. These four nice, beautiful picture for Al-Aqsa before the war. And this after the war. See how much building are destructed. These sites have videos about the destruction. Last of all, I would like to thank you all. Thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rifa. I think we are going to have to finish very soon, but I would just like to read a couple of the comments that have come into the chat box. One audience has said thank you, although that was an almost unbearable account of destruction. Somebody else has said that was wonderful. You are an inspiration. Somebody has asked if intellectual development is at all possible during such terrible times. And I would say, well, obviously it is, because you three wonderful women are a testament to that. You're wonderful examples of how determination and commitment and enormous resilience can actually, and steadfastness, sumud, as you say in Arabic, can still produce the contribution to your societies. Everybody is saying thank you, wonderful presentations. So I think we will have to leave it there, but we really hope that we will be able to invite you back, perhaps individually, and we can give each of you, the full time that you each deserve. And I can only say that obviously for all of us who have listened to the presentations, we just commend and salute your amazing resilience, obviously your mental strength and your ability, and the fact that you are women, in Gaza, in the West Bank, and having to surmount the most terrible difficulties. It makes us in the UK, however difficult life might be sometimes, just realise how privileged and how lucky, how fortunate we are. So on behalf of FOBZU, I would like to thank, and on behalf of all our audience, I would like to thank you once again for giving up all your time to prepare the presentations and to come to the event. And we really look forward to being in touch. For our audience, if you would obviously please do follow FOBZU's work. If you have any burning questions about life or education in Gaza, please send them to us at info@fobzu.org. And we can pass them on, of course, to our three leading professors who have presented today. And sorry, my chairing wasn't brilliant, so we overran at the beginning. But thank you all.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, FOBZU, for giving us the chance to talk about our experiences.
Well, thank you. And we hope that we will do more in the future.